Scientific studies have shown that scalp massages stimulates hair growth and combats hair loss. So if you want to know the exact scalp massage technique used in these studies, then keep watching. Hello my lovelies, my name is Imane. I suffer from hair loss, and on this channel we talk about natural, effective, scientifically backed methods to combat hair loss. If you're interested in that, do subscribe. So there's been a few studies to show that scalp massages stimulates hair growth. One particular study that we're going to dive into, there was 327 people that self-diagnosed with androgenetic alopecia took part in these standardized scalp massages. 68% of people who took part in the study said the scalp massages helped to stabilize their hair loss and support hair growth. On average, hair loss stabilization and hair regrowth happened at the 36-hour mark, i.e. these people put in work. Okay, so it's not an overnight process, and you see results after 6 months. The mean amount of time that you should be massaging your scalp, it was between 11 to 14 minutes per day. I know this is a lot of effort and a lot of time, but I wouldn't be showing you guys this if I didn't think it was a worthy tool against hair loss and helping you regrow your hair. Make sure you stick around till the end, because I'm going to be showing you the exact technique that they used in this study and do a massage with me along video, so you can save it and watch this while we massage our heads together for hours on end. The mechanism behind scalp massages and why I think they're so good: it helps to increase growth factors, it improves scalp tension. Hair loss is normally in a pattern, and when our skull expands, the skin around the skull gets tight, restricting blood flow to the hair follicles. So this helps to reduce scalp tension, improves scalp elasticity, i.e. your scalp can move around. If your scalp doesn't really move around, you have a lot of scalp tension, but scalp massages help to remediate that. It's a great way to de-stress, and stress is a major cause of hair loss. And as I mentioned, blood flow. Blood flow is the foundation of all hair loss treatments. By increasing blood flow, by improving the nutrients within your blood that then gets passed on to the hair follicle, you're gonna really help to provide the hair exactly what it needs to grow healthy, strong, and thick. Okay, so let's get into the actual technique and how to do the scalp massages. You need to do a minimum of 10 minutes a day, and you won't see results until the 4th to 6th month. It's a big commitment, but I believe in you. So the technique works in 3 different ways. So we're going to be doing 3 different types of massages. The first one is pinching. So if I show you guys my hand, so pinching like this, or pinching with 2 hands like so. The second technique is pressing. So pressing with our palms, pressing with our knuckles, and generally putting weight onto our scalp. The third and final technique is stretching. So we're going to be stretching the scalp in this motion, using your fingertips to stretch out the skin. Now, the areas of focus are gonna be the top of your head, including your hairline and your vertex. Then you're gonna do the sides, and then you're gonna do the back of your head. The reason why we split it up is to make sure that each section of your head gets the focus, the effort it needs to grow. Now, a few tips before I start talking about the technique. The first thing is do not create friction on your scalp, i.e. we don't want to be moving our fingers like so, creating friction on the hair follicles. The idea is to move the scalp. So let me say that again. We're moving the scalp, we're putting tension on the scalp, not on your hair. We want to make sure that we're not moving our hands like so on our scalp. We're staying in one section and moving it like so. So to start off with, we're going to do a 5-minute or 3-minute warm-up. That's just to get the blood flow moving and get the scalp ready for the technique. Using our fingertips, we're going to go in each section, move around your fingertips, pressing down, putting around 5 pounds onto your scalp in circular motions. Then we're gonna get our palms, and we're gonna start from the top and just push your scalp downwards all across your scalp to move like so. Once you've done the warm-up exercises, is now to go through each of the 3 techniques. We're gonna focus on one technique on all 3 areas. Then we're gonna move on to the second technique on all 3 areas. Then we're gonna move on to the third technique in all 3 areas. So the first technique is the pinching. So I'm gonna do the top, sides, the back. What I find that the sides, when I do the pinching, I can do it. So I get my thumb and my finger and I pinch, hold for 2 seconds, 1, 2, hold for 2 seconds, 1, 2. But when you get to this area in the back, it's almost impossible to use one hand, so we're gonna use both hands. Once you've done the sides, we're gonna move on to the top. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 1, 2, and we're gonna go across the whole scalp. Now the pinching is my least favorite to do because I find it really hard because my scalp is really tight. But the more you do it, you'll start to see your scalp to get a bit looser, and that's really ideal. Once you get to the 1 finger pinch, you're doing something right. But what I will say is pinching is the hardest bit to do. So once you've spent a considerable amount of time pinching, it's now time to move on to pressing. The way you press is up to you. You can either use your knuckle or your palm. I like to use a mixture of both. So now we're going to do the pressing side. We're going to do the sides, the top and the back. We want to exert about 10 to 20 pounds of force. When I go to the top of my head, I use this bit of my knuckle, and you want to move it around. And then I like to go over the same area with my palms. So you really want to push down and exert 10 to 20 pounds of force. I find it's a lot easier if I use this section of my palm. I can put a lot more force and I can really concentrate on one section of my head. Okay, so once you've done that, you should feel that your scalp is a little bit warm. It might be a little bit red, and that's great. It means we're increasing blood flow to the area. But next, we're gonna move on to the stretching. You wanna apply firm but comfortable stretching. So we're gonna use both our hands for this. So I'll show you on this section first. You want to basically get the skin in between your fingers and pull either side. If you have quite long hair, it might be worth parting your hair in the sections you want to stretch, and that will help. You wanna hold it for 1 to 2 seconds and move on 1 to 2 inches away. So again, you want to concentrate on each section of your head, whether that's your sides, then move on to the top of your head, then move on to the back. You want to spend a considerable amount of time on each section. What I will say is the stretching and pinching I find the hardest. The pressing I find a lot easier, and I feel like it's working more, and I feel like I'm getting more blood flow and more bang for my buck, so to speak, because I'm putting effort, but I feel like it's actually doing something. The stretching and pinching is a lot harder, and I will be honest with you, it is quite difficult to do the pinching and to do the stretching. If you want to combine the two, you can. So what I would suggest is if you do the stretching and pinching together. So what that means is, so if you use your fingertips to stretch, hold it for 1-2 seconds, then pinch 1-2 seconds. I think that is a lot easier for me. It also just helps to consolidate that movement. But as I mentioned, you guys need to be super committed to this type of method. You want to do at least 10 minutes, but I would recommend 20 minutes a day, and you should see results after 6 months. Your hair loss would be stabilized, and it will help to stimulate hair growth. In conjunction with the scalp massages, is you want to be making sure you're giving your body the nutrients it needs to grow, because you're increasing blood flow. You have a very healthy diet, and your iron content is good, and you're eating a lot of protein and a lot of green leafy vegetables, taking supplements and things like that, doing that. So make sure to watch the best foods to eat for hair growth and for hair loss, and I'll link them in the description. But it is also really important to make sure you're really ticking the boxes in the inside part as well as the outside part, because they're gonna work really well together. One thing to flag is that your hands will probably get tired. Mine get tired after about 10 minutes. So you can split this up into a 10-minute in the morning, 10-minute in the evening, and that will help to give your hands a rest. Or if you want to space it out, if you're watching a film, you're doing something that doesn't require your hands, you can also do these scalp massages, and it will help to pass the time as well. If you do end up doing these scalp massages, let me know in the comment. I would love to hear about your progress. I've started incorporating these scalp massages, and I feel like it's definitely helped with my hair. And I think what's really important about hair loss is you want to try as many things as possible. You want to attack it at all angles. So that's why I would definitely recommend microneedling as well as scalp massages, plus the healthy diet. And if you do have a bit more of a disposable income, then I would also recommend getting a red light laser device as well. And I would also recommend oiling your hair with rosemary and peppermint essential oil. All of these things are going to be really beneficial. For a double whammy, make sure to use rosemary essential oil, peppermint essential oil mixed with another carrier oil of your choice when you're massaging, and this is going to be added benefits than just massaging alone. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to watch my How to Beat Hair Loss playlist if you haven't seen it already. Thanks guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!